I hope I get it right. Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. I'm Rob Satori. How's everybody doing today? Mixed reactions. It's kind of cold out. Kind of like it reminds me of a Pittsburgh day. Kind of cold, gray, dreary. But we have the light inside, so that's always nice. I'm going to start off with a song that Marcia kind of wanted to hear, and it's just a barn burner kind of a song. Great way to start the day with a very difficult song. It's a challenging song, let me put it that way, because it's so powerful. Daniel Nemad's One Power. one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible. You see it everywhere and every day. There's one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, whoa, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We remember when we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Well, whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, whoa, one power is what we are. One power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby. The serenity of sleep. It's the anger you abandon by the love that's so deep. It's one power, one power. What we are is one power. Whoa, one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love that lives in you and me.
That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to Unity of Sarasota. I'm Tim Spradlin, and I want to welcome you here where something good is always happening. And I guarantee you before you leave today, something will be said that will change your life. It's already happened to me in Rob's meditation. He said, "I love you and thank you." Went through me like a lightning bolt. All right. If you would please join me with our opening statement. We are a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, transforming lives. All right. If we have any guests today, if you will please rise. And stay standing. Our board member of the day is Susan Crystal, and she has a gift for you, and we'd like to know where you're coming from. We'll start with you.
Pam Denny, Denver, Colorado, living water unity.
All right. And back there?
Returning to Sarasota.
Amen.
Camille.
Camille.
Hi, Leda from Baltimore.
Leda from Baltimore. And sir, you right here?
Greg from Lido Key.
Lido Key, welcome. Back there? I'm looking at you, doll.
Here, Sarasota, live here.
And your name?
Sharon.
Sharon. And
Same, Sarasota,
Linda, nice to meet you, and this lovely couple right here.
My name is Mahala. I'm here half the time now, and I am a unity minister.
Well, good to meet you. And all right, so good to see you. All right, and in the gift, you will find that there is a shell necklace, and this necklace represents the lovely beaches here in Florida. And as there are many shells on that necklace, there are many of us that represent the lives that flow in and out of this church, and we're represented in that necklace. And that necklace gives you first-in-line privileges over at the food table, which we have a potluck today. So welcome. We're glad to have you. All right. Are there any children here today? All right. If we could take a moment. Cheryl is their teacher, and I heard firsthand 3 weeks ago from one of her students how much he adores her and the work that she does. Let's all thank Cheryl for the work she does. It's important work. There's a great song that talks about the children being our future, and Cheryl helps cultivate that. Thank you, Cheryl. We'd like to say our blessing for the children, if you will all join me together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the living Spirit in you. All right. All right, we're going to get on to some announcements here and some invitations, things that are going on right here inside the church. Let's start with Easter. Last year on Easter, this place was booming, and we certainly would like to do that again. It's a great opportunity for all of us to welcome some people that have never walked inside the door. There are people that come that we don't see too often on that day, but at least it puts Unity of Sarasota on their radar. And a lot of times throughout the year, we see people flowing in and out from that. So let's make it a big day. Ask people that have never been here before to come. And because so many places are already booked and reservations already out, it's hard to find a place to eat afterwards. So Unity of Sarasota has thought of everything. So there's going to be a wonderful brunch after the service. It's $24 in advance and $28 on the day of, and I believe that they're taking reservations for that. But there are obviously still places. They're going big on this. There's lots of great food. So come, enjoy the service, and then stay after for something great to eat. On Good Friday, before Easter, there's going to be a very powerful service given by our own Reverend Amy and Reverend Matthew. It's the seven last teachings of Jesus Christ from the cross. I wouldn't miss it, except for the fact that I'll be on a stage of my own that night. But I suggest you come. It will be a powerful evening for you. On April 5th, there's going to be a concert given. And as I understand it, it's the donations given from that concert are going to a fund for the earthquake in Turkey, for relief for those people. You know, no one does better than this church in giving across the ocean and all over the world where money is needed. And put on your schedule to be here that night. All right, and speaking of shows, yours truly is in Driving Miss Daisy at Manatee Performing Arts Center. I'm very, very proud to be part of this, and I'm extremely proud that this church supports me in the work that I do. As I understand, there's a sign up for you to come. I will say that those reservations need to be made quickly. Opening night is already sold out. And, you know, I want to say as a member of this team in Driving Miss Daisy, it's so much more than a show about a man that drives a cantankerous old woman in a car. It's a show about a mother and her son who find out that in the very deep pockets of their DNA, that there is racism that is learned. And a man that shows up in their life that plucks that from their DNA and sheds it. It's a beautiful, funny, and heartwarming story, and I would love it if you would all come and support that show. All right, and on to another concert. There is going to be the Divine Light and Transformation and Healing on April 1st. It's a workshop and a group healing. Again, this church, the diversity that takes place here, everything from supporting theater to the giving that we do nationally to our own healing is so present here. And I suggest again that you put this on your calendar and be here for that. All right.
And thank you, by the way, Tim, for,
Absolutely.
helping out and doing the announcements and being on the board. You give a lot to the service.
Nominating committee.
Nominate. I'm pushing it. All right, let's stand and sing the unity song. Would you please join me in every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. What power, what presence, what light to lead the way. All knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Okay, if you would please close your eyes. Most mornings when I wake up and I start a prayer or meditation, it usually comes to me in the form of a song. What a surprise. And there's a song that's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks. And I want my prayer to be shared with you as yours. How can anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How can anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How can anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And with your eyes still closed, if you will please picture someone that you would like to send this message to. And say, how could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And so it is. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. All right, and if you will join me in saying, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are an individualized expression of God. Thank you.
We have lyrics for this to sing along with us, so if Ellie would please pull the next song, Love Is My Decision. It wasn't my decision, but... Okay, we're getting there. The suspense is killing me. Well, it's moderately affected me. I wouldn't say it's killing me. I would be overreacting. You don't have it? I put them in this morning. All right. All right. I'll give you all the words up front. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Yeah, love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. Oh my God, there it is. can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. So yeah, we go there. Yeah, we got the one for the road. Okay. Love is my decision. Up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Yeah, and once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Thank you. Good job. And now, without any further ado, we have the wonderful, and she's just so delightful, Reverend Marcia McCartney. No relation to Paul, actually. No, not related. Reverend Marcia is known as the Play Lady. Her passion is to have all of us rediscover that very part of us so we can play in our divine oneness. And she created Unity's Planetary Play Day. And if you've ever had a chance to have a play day with Reverend Marcia, don't miss it. So maybe she'll invite you. Here she is right now, Reverend Marcia McCartney.
Wow. Yay! Thank you. What an incredible musician you all have. Holy mackerel.
Thank you.
And everybody else here, you know? So I think I'm going to begin with the core value that I wanted to bring to life to you all this morning. And it's a great core value to have as one of the hearts of this community. So would you read this with me? Say this with me. Inspired by divine guidance, we express joy as spontaneity, playfulness, fun, creativity, and imagination. Whoa. Whoa. You know, I just want to thank you all for inviting me here today. You live in a paradise, as we all do in Florida, but some paradises are lovelier than others, so thank you so much. And I really want to thank Carol in the office. Where are you, Carol? Bless you for being such a support. And even before I got here, Carol and Reverend Matthew welcomed me in. I felt like, you know, I was already here. And such a loving connection. I thank you so much. And everyone, thank you so much for the energy that you all convey here. It's beautiful. Do you know how beautiful you are? You know? So I want to ask you a question this morning. Have you ever had an experience that transcended you into a new way of being, into a new way of seeing? Have you ever had that experience beyond who you are and what you thought you were, beyond anything you had ever experienced in your life? Perhaps you've had one of those experiences. Maybe you're having it right now, you know, that changed you, that was a transformational experience that changed the very core and essence of who you were. for me, one of those experiences happened in the fall of 1982. And I have never been the same, ever. If you'd known me then and you know me now, it was like two different people, totally. And it was in the mountains of North Carolina, in a place called Brown's Retreat Center. And I went there for a leadership retreat in the church that I belonged to at that time, which was the Disciples of Christ, the Christian church from Sandy Springs, Georgia. And it was the first church that I attended after I got sober 46 years ago. I'd been going to AA meetings before that. You know, that was kind of my church. And then I found this little community in Sandy Springs where I lived. And it was really a kind of non-judgmental community. It was a pretty caring group. They even had a course in miracles. Can you believe that? Very progressive Christian church, Disciples of Christ. And it was the church that I met and married my husband, Bob McCartney, in. We were both very active in leadership. I was a deacon, he was an elder. And so I went on this retreat in the fall of 1982. And the first morning of that retreat, I sat in awe as I watched faces of 100 or more adults, mostly ministers and mostly lay leaders in the church, when a bunch of clowns, a bunch of holy fools danced into the room in Brown's Retreat Center, you know? And we were all sitting on the floor, all of these 100, or more ministers and lay leaders, and we were, we had our so serious faces on. It's like our adult serious faces on. I've got so much to do faces on. Our serious, stressed out faces on. Our responsible for the world faces on. Can I see one of those faces right now? You all make one of those faces right now. And it doesn't feel good, And then moved in these silly, outrageous fools dancing and cavorting and skipping and hopping into the room, and our hearts began to melt. The clowns began to engage each person in that room. And in the background was send in the clowns in the background, And the clowns began to engage each soul in that circle. Each clown had a bundle that they were carrying in their arms. It was like a little babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, tenderly being held in their hearts. And one by one, you all, hearts began to open as these most holy fools offered each person in that circle a peek inside their bundle of joy. Inside that bundle was a bag of sunflower seeds. I was like, what in the world? A bag of sunflower seeds. But you see, the metaphor was not of this world. It was a symbol of a divine idea that had been planted in the beginning in each heart and each soul. And as each clown connected with each adult in the circle, laughter pealed out loud, echoes, it bounced off the walls. We were laughing, and that laughter filled our ears, and the sounds of infinite joy repeated itself and repeated itself. It was like laughter, laughter. Listen to that laughter. Laughter healed any sense of separation. In a moment of unadulterated laughter, we bonded and we became one. Whoa, whoa. We laughed and we laughed and we laughed. Laughter healed any sense of separation. And in a moment of beautiful, unadulterated laughter, we bonded truly and became one. Have you ever had that kind of experience where you laughed so hard you cried? When you laughed so hard you couldn't stop. My mom and my sister and I used to do that, and we'd say, stop, we can't do this, my tummy hurts. You know, we would laugh that hard, and we'd laugh so hard we leaked. Do you know what I mean? I mean, from our eyes, obviously, but other parts of our body, you know? Well, that day, we laughed so hard that many of us did cry. Our tears cleared our eyes and opened our minds and opened our hearts wide open. The clowns, those silly, outrageous clowns, became a link to a long ago forgotten little boy or little girl. That precious child held in each heart by these grown-ups who had just longed for a taste of the joy and the freedom of childhood. A seed was planted in my heart that day, a seed that would lead to a deep healing of my soul. A healing took place in my wounded inner child, met my divine wonder child. And my life has never been the same, you know. My wounded child, you know, had been covered over by denial and a deep, all the things that happened in my childhood. They lay dormant in there, and until that inner child, that wonder child, woke it up and out of its trauma, it was an amazing experience. And out of that seed idea birthed Planetary Play, a project that was taken on by the whole Unity movement as the Noble Purpose Project of 2006. That's my claim to fame. And Planetary Play Day was on April 1st, April Fool's Day. And we had the whole Unity, we had all of Silent Unity and all of the students that were at the ministerial school. They all came to the campus, and we had games and fun and food. It was a wonderful experience on Holy Fool Day, you know. And what I believe is that play is the sacred relationship that we have with life. It goes beyond culture. It goes beyond religion or race or nationality or age or gender. Play is about being in touch with the joy and the sorrow, the tears and the laughter, the bitter and the sweet of life. It is about the wonder of it all, exploring the mystery, engaging the divine mystery within us and all around us. Each moment filled with mystery and wonder. And it's a choice that each of us makes every day, to be kind and compassionate, to be fearless and courageous, to be playmates in the world today. And it takes a lot of courage, doesn't it? It takes a lot of courage and curiosity, awe and wonder. Planetary Play is about having a wonder and reverence for life in all its fullness, its grittiness, its beauty, and its mystery. It's time to regenerate play as an evolutionary tool to stop and heal this world of separation and division. Don't you agree? Yeah. And to be a planetary place citizen, to play full out in the kingdom, the queendom of heaven on earth, Jerry, the kingdom of everything, to travel light and free, to be emancipated. I love that word, emancipated. To play without worrying about what anybody thinks of you. Playing because you can play. Play with the mystery, the wonder of life. And it all has to do with these beautiful, what I call the DNA of play, our divine natural attributes, which are the beginner's mind, flexible soul, and the big, wide open heart of a holy fool. So where are the clowns, you guys? Thank you. Where did he go? There he is. Thank you so much for that little intro. But where are they? Where are they? Where are the holy fools? Is there one sitting next to you right now? Well, I believe that the Christ named Jesus fulfilled the perfect description of the holy fool. The holiest of fools. The innocence of the most holy fool. His words, his stories, his behavior fearlessly brought into focus the oppression of both the Roman Empire and the Jewish, or the Jewish, the temple, the religious restrictions of that time. His poor peasant followers didn't miss a thing, in his parables. They were pretty clever folks. I think they probably were the first lunatics. You never know. But they didn't miss the humor in his parables, which poked fun at the rigid structure of the society that they were living in. Can you imagine? And I believe that Jesus was a holy fool indeed, in word and in action. There's nowhere in the scripture that you'll find that Jesus laughed, But we all know he did. I mean, that's ridiculous. He would hang out with the kids. His favorite people were children. I can't conceive of a Jesus that didn't like to laugh and smile and play, Perhaps the authors of the Gospels didn't mention his humor, since they believed that being the Son of God was pretty serious business, it was serious business, God being holy and all. Yet we're made in the image and likeness of our Creator. So humor, so much a part of our humanity, you all, must be pretty funny stuff. There's a story that's told by the Apache Indians about the Creator and how the Creator delighted in creating those first humans, because those first humans could do so many things. They could run, they could dance, they could play and make things with their hands, but Great Spirit wasn't satisfied. There was something missing in that first human. So the Creator took that human back to the Creator drawing board and experimented with a little of that and this, and finally the last ingredient came. And you know what it was? Laughter. It was laughter. It was laughter. Because you know what the Creator said to that first human? Now you're fit to be human, because you're going to need it. You're going to need laughter in your life to lighten up the darker times. Yeah. So, really, throughout the ages, we've had holy fools who help bring fresh perspective to life. Can you think of any? Can you think of any that were innovative and evolutionary in their being here? Like Einstein and who else? Lily Tomlin. I love it. Yes. And who else? Huh? Johnny Carson. Well, I was thinking more in the lines with Edison. I'm sure he had a sense of humor too. But we're all being called to be holy fools, you all. For the world's sake, we're being called, for Christ's sake, to wake up and to stay awake. You know, this is the age of awakening. Are you aware of that? The age of Aquarius is the age of the great awakening. In Rumi's inspiring poem, he says, out beyond the ideas of right and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When one lies down in that grass, the world is too much to talk about. Don't go back to sleep. Don't go back to sleep. And we are asked today not to go back to sleep. We're in a major wake-up call, you all. We are in the evolutionary process of lifting up and out of where we've been into a new way. In the last 2 years, the last 4 years have been huge in that awakening process. So don't go back to sleep. Nudge your neighbor right now, don't go back to sleep, you know? Because really, holy fools like you and me are people that are beginning to wake up, to have the courage to be spiritual activists in the world today. Nothing can stay hidden any longer. Do you all realize that? Nothing. Nothing can stay hidden. You just turn on CNN or Fox and I'll tell you, you can see everything you want to see. Nothing can stay hidden. And becoming a little child again, a little child shall lead them. Remembering our divine birthright as co-creators with infinite life, infinite joy. Using our divine natural attributes. Yes, the beginner's mind open to the new that's coming through. The beginner's mind. Don't go back to sleep. The flexible soul, allowing life to unfold in the glory and the glow and the flow of infinite love. Don't go back to sleep. And the big, wide open heart of the holy fool, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and real and innocent. Don't go back to sleep. Allow that divine child within you to lead the way to oneness. We remember that, you know, bringing together the lion consciousness and the lamb consciousness as one. That was prophesied in the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter. The wolf shall lie down with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the young goat. I do think I have yeah. And the lion and the fatted calf together, and a little child shall lead them. What did that mean? Little child shall lead them. I believe we're being called to act in the name of oneness, of unity, of equality, of love, compassion, understanding to those who really could use the healing that we offer in unity. Equanimity, cooperation, to put joy back into life itself. You know, Charles Fillmore said that when we put more joy back in religion, there'll be more religion in the world. And what I say is that when we put more joy back in the world, we will have more world to enjoy, you know? So I want to tell you a story at the end of this. I want to share where this revelation came from. And it was when I first stepped out as a clown. Yeah, I'm a clown. Can't you tell? A holy fool, indeed. And it was that same year, 1982. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I had just come back from that retreat in the mountains from North Carolina and met those first holy fools. And I was moved to be a clown myself. I was so moved. You know, I learned how to put on the makeup. In fact, I happened to be on a layover in Denver. I was a Delta flight attendant for 30 years, y'all. Talking about being a clown. No comment there. But I was on a layover in Denver, and I just happened, it was downtown, I was walking around, and I saw this little boutique, this little costume shop. So I went in, and I met my first drag queen. She was so beautiful. She was so kind and helpful. She showed me how to put the makeup on. She was so playful. You know, it was just, I was blown away. And I learned all about, not from her, but I learned the makeup from her, but I learned all about being a compassionate clown, about being a clown minister, like Patch Adams in the hospital. You know, how to be a minister of the heart, going into hospitals and nursing homes, and for the children, the elderly, the infirm, to spread joy germs. You know, really, joy, not COVID germs, but joy germs. And juggle, and I blew bubbles, and I decided to go to Grady Hospital downtown Atlanta. And it's inner city Atlanta. It was my first clown gig. And I got all clowned up. I did. Red nose, you know, blue wig, sneakers, big 14 and a half size sneakers, high top sneakers. Everything was blue on me. I had blue hair, and I had my clown's name was Angel the Clown, and I had wings on my back, you know. My mother made my costume. It was so sweet. So I drove to downtown Atlanta in my little blue RX-7 Mazda. It was the best car ever. But I was in this little sports car, and I'm driving down the street, and I've got my balloons, and everybody's yelling at me, wow, a clown, hey, clown, come over here. You know, and I felt immediately welcomed into the neighborhood. God, it was so cool. There was no separation. It was just a clown, you know. It was magical, you all. It was magical. So I made it to the hospital, and I went to the floor. It was like the 7th or 8th floor, and it was where the children, the ward for the kids were. And I pulled out my bubbles and my balloons and my deck of old-maid cards, and I played with the kids, and as best I could, because those children were in a battle, catastrophic illness. And their moms and their dads and the nurses and the doctors were all there supporting them and supporting each other. It was awesome. And the healer clown, was me, became the healed clown. As I learned, I think it is the most important lesson that I ever have learned in my life, and that is that giving and receiving are the same. There's no difference. And so after playing with the kids and the doctors and nurses and the families, I was in awe. I said my goodbyes, and I went to the elevators. You know, it was a big hospital, big, you know, like there are probably 6, elevator things on each side. What are those called? So I'm standing there, and so I press the button to go down, get my little blue Mazda, convertible, whatever, and go home. But I press the button, and around the corner comes this big dude. I mean, really, he had a boombox on his shoulder. He had a pack of Cools in his rolled-up sleeves. He had glasses on, and he'd probably been visiting, like a brother or sister up in the ward. And so cool dude, can you imagine, meets outrageous, silly fool, and our eyes lock. And we connect, and I can't think of anything else, you all, but to get down on the floor. It was like, that's all I could think of. So I got down on the floor, and do you know, he did the same. He got down on the floor with me, and we played together. Cool dude, silly clown. And I pulled out this silly green frog that I had in my pocket, and we played with it on the floor like two little kids. It made no difference, the color of our skin, of our backgrounds, of our education, our politics. In that moment, we played together as little kids. The lion and the lamb played together. I never knew his name. Whew, I've got God bumps all over me. But in that moment, we became friends, forever friends. He was the teacher of the wide open heart for me. It was an amazing blessing. I believe that everybody is waiting to be asked to play. Yeah. Planetary play is the divine invitation to oneness, to enter the mystery of infinite play. When you think of the energy and the frequencies and all of the wonderful vibrations that are playing right now, right where you are, the very cells of our being, and I believe that we are all looking for our divine playmate, our inner playmate, our sacred relationship with ourselves, infusing more love into our lives, to take ourselves less seriously, love more gently, and to let go and forgive more completely. And our outer playmate, our sacred relationship with each other, everyone's waiting to be asked to play, don't you think? Waiting to be asked to play. And there are so many wonderful playmates right here, right now. And our divine playmate, which is our sacred relationship with infinite life, on this, our divine playground, earth, home, Home. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah. So it's up to you and me to make this happen, to create heaven on earth. I believe that's one of the main purposes we're here. You can call it something else, but it's about joining together, connecting together as one in unity. A family that plays together stays together. And where there is laughter, there's hope. So would you join me in something very sacred? And it may be a little, I don't know, it may be just absolutely amazing for all of us. But if you can easily stand up right now, could you stand up with me? And would you be willing to to face a partner right now, somebody that's sitting right next to you or in front or in back of you. This is known as the affirmation or the prayer of Gandhi. And what I'm going to invite you to do, that's a new slide there. What I'm going to ask you to do is, whether it feels comfortable or not, hold hands. And if not, just know that you're connected there vibrationally with your partner. And repeat these words after me. I offer you my peace. I offer you my love. I offer you my friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I respect your feelings. My guidance comes from the highest source. I acknowledge that same source in you. Let us walk together in unity and harmony. Amen. So you can sit down now. And I'm going to head back to Crystal River. And I just want to say what a delight to be here and share the energy with you of unity. And what a blessing you have here in this community. Unity of Sarasota is a light. A light. And you are so blessed. And so it is.
Saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes to life. Saying yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes to life. Yeah, yeah. I'm saying yes to life. The spirit of God right now is expressing itself right now. The spirit of joy right is expressing itself right now. Well, what are we gonna create today? The universe is ready to play. Spirit is surely here through the way to just say yeah. Yes, 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 yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes. Oh, yes to life. I'm saying yes, yes, yes to life. Yeah, I'm saying yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes to life. Oh, I'm saying yes to life. Spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of light within me is expressing itself right now. Oh, whatever you can believe, you achieve. Believe it and you can achieve. The universe will always say, but you just say, yeah. Yes, indeedy.
One more time, let us thank Reverend Marcia. And my answer to you, Reverend Marcia, is anyone crazy enough to want to walk on water has to have a sense of humor. All right, if we could please call our chaplains and ministers up front. And after service, if you would like what Susie calls a 1-minute miracle, please see these people, and they would be happy to spend a little time with you. All right. Also, after service today, we are going to have a potluck, so there will be food available in Fellowship Hall. Please join us for a bite to eat. And also, ushers are going to be, oh, wait a minute. Okay, yes, next week, Reverend Barbara Williams will be joining us next week, so please don't miss that. So also, there are going to be ushers lined up at the doors. And please share with us your blessings and give them to the church. And if you will join me in saying, we give generously of our financial gifts, knowing that God is our endless source. Thank you. And now I believe we're going to do the peace song, correct?
Now we're going to do the prayer for protection.
Oh, the prayer for
first.
protection. Please stand. Yes. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, family all free. Yes, we walk with each other. Perfect harmony. Yes, this is the moment now. Every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes. Well done, Timothy. I need another picture. I don't like the way I look. You look great. I know.